Hey there folks, Xavier Thorne here, starting up a new game. We're going to be doing CSI 3 Dimensions of Murder for the PC, and this game is brought to you by GameAnyone.com. So, before starting this up, it's been a while since I played the game, so I did the training level, so I don't need to do it for you. The little narration voice for it is a little annoying. It's really short, really no reason to do it again though. So, deny that, let's get going. So, type in a name is needed. Gotta have a name, let's try 1R, thank you. Alrighty then. Just go ahead, do it on normal, you know, so I don't feel like changing anything. Just do it on normal, show you how to do things. Gonna be going for at least master ranks on every case. Loading. Alright, loaded. Sounds loaded. There you go.
Welcome to Vegas, the city without clocks. In the casinos, anyway. Here at CSI, time is something we pay close attention to, because the early hours of a murder investigation are key. As our newest crime scene investigator, your credentials are strong, but the proof is in your performance.
Yeah, we've got a situation over... Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Catherine Willows, let me introduce you to our newest CSI. Now, what have you got for us?
Art gallery owner by the Strip with an unexpected exhibit on his showroom floor. A dead body. Possible homicide.
Thanks, Kath. Okay, I'm partnering you with Warwick Brown on this case. He'll help show you the ropes. But your own CSI skills are what we're counting on to crack this case.
Sir.
Catherine, I have lab work to get back to. Would you supervise this case?
You got it, Gil.
And you should head to that art gallery now. Oh, and remember, as G.K. Chesterton once said, the criminal is the creative artist, the detective only the critic.
Yes, sir. Alright. So, as per my usual thing I do, I keep quiet while game characters are talking. Add witty banter when I can. So let's head over to the crime scene, shall we? Good old art gallery. Mouse! It's going nuts! Alright, that's enough. It's enough fun right there. Let's investigate a murder. It'll be fun. Maybe. Crime scene, do not cross. Well, I'm gonna cross. It's what I do. If I have to cross,
hey,
I have to
I'm CSI Warwick Brown. I'm glad to have some help on this one.
All that.
We got a dead Vic on the floor, and a live gallery owner waiting in the sidelines. Are you ready? Good.
I might be.
Pay close attention. We're in the art world, and if you don't know how to look at something, you won't understand what it means.
Of course. Why don't you step aside? Let me take care of things. Thank you. Alright, step one.
The Vic's face down. Spatter pattern on the wall close by indicates blunt force trauma. Take a photo of this. It's always good for future reference. You're going to need an angle that shows the Vic's position in relation to the spatter.
Of course I will. Let's get the camera out. There you go. It doesn't really give you much of an option to move this. You can a little bit, you know. Yeah, right. I like right there. It's a pretty good angle for it. That'll do. Alright.
Too pretty, too young, and way too dead. Pay close attention to the body. There could be evidence anywhere from head to toe.
Of course there could. Why wouldn't there be? I'll take this first.
No wallet, cash, or ID. Could this be a glorified mugging?
I doubt it. When is it ever really that simple? Oops, I right-clicked. Right-clicking is a good way to go back. You know, just take a step back, viewing the whole scene.
Hey, maybe we just got lucky. That blood print says somebody's shoe picked up transfer.
Obviously. Photo! I want one like this. It's fun. Alright then. Alright, good eyes, good eyes. Gotta have good eyes. tweezers. Yoink.
That's no human hair. It's too thick. Some kind of animal, maybe.
Of course it's some kind of animal. Why wouldn't it be? Alright. Come on.
I want you to note the blood spatter here. For a visual pattern like this, you'll want to use the digital camera. Then you can get the blood afterwards.
Thanks for the obvious hit. Like,
Well, if a picture's
what-
worth 1,000
figure it out
words, we
right.
got several thousand here, telling us what went down. The Vic was hit at least twice. Pattern in her position relative to it tells us so. The first blow probably caused the puncture wound and sent her to the ground. The second blow, while she was down, created the blood spatter.
I feel like that may have just skipped something. Part of the video. Well, things can't be perfect. Unfortunately. So let's go ahead and grab this thing. You know what, actually I might change those, go change those settings, real quick. See if it does anything. Okay, close that. Options menu. Difficulty settings. Okay. Tool assist, we don't need that. Just if I click advanced. No. So now I'm using custom settings. Not really in a setting choice at all. Screw it. Just go back to normal. I don't care. Something to just label. Help label the game when I get it up in game anyway. So let's see. Let's grab this.
The blood flowed from the head wound and naturally pooled around her. That suggests she bled to death right here.
Possibly. Good old swab. Swab the forehead. You can swab the blood off the body. You can get it off the floor from the puddle. Well, yeah, go back here, off from the puddle here. But since if you can collect from one place or the other, yeah, you don't have to do anything else. So that's not quite it for the body. We got this nice ring here.
Whoa. With a rock like that left behind, I doubt we have a robbery.
Of course.
This was personal.
You would assume so. Let's grab the hand here. Slip that ring off, even though it looks like we're just grabbing it. Okay then. Back it up. Come on. Oh wait, we're already back. Okay then. You there. Missing bird.
60 large for an earthbound bird? If art theft was the motivation, why not take the other two birds as well?
'Cause it probably was an art theft. There you go. Get that brushed nicely. Just get it all to appear. You know you're done once
Nice
he
catch.
selects the brush
Whoever
for
bagged
it.
our bird may have left that print.
Of course, why wouldn't it? And when it says like that, location search, that means you've got all the evidence in this spot that you possibly can. You look at here, you got a tag with a red dot. That means it's all, you've done all you can with it. Well, with the scene. We can talk to this guy though, and I suggest we do. Name.
This is the Nathan Ackerman Fine Arts Studio, and I am Nathan Ackerman.
Alright then.
My art, displaying the creativity and on occasion the genius of my exhibitors, in a setting that is itself a work of art.
Do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Please do. Consider me your host and ally. Don't hesitate to ask if I can help you resolve this affair quickly and cleanly.
I'll see what we can do. But Mr. Ackerman, there's nothing clean about murder.
Unless you completely clean things up and leave no evidence, then yeah, I'd say you're right about that, Warwick. So, not like we don't know someone was killed here in this art museum, but what happened here? Let's
I
ask the
was
stupid
out
question.
briefly on an errand, and to my devastation, I discovered a client, Rachel Maddox, dead on my gallery floor. You must understand that this is a crushing blow. Rachel was an excellent client and a dear friend. I can't imagine who would do such a thing. Perhaps a vagrant or one of these psychopathic killers you read so much about?
Perhaps. It is nice, though, that they didn't treat us like idiots with the answer. You know, we ask it's just such a stupid, vague question like, what happened here, when it's obvious someone was killed. Just once in one of these kind of games or on the show, yeah, I'd just like to see them just go up to a suspect, ask what happened here, and say, well, obviously someone was murdered. Is there anything else you need from me? It would amuse me. It would. So why was Rachel at the gallery?
Rachel was about to be a bride. She had commissioned a painting and a sculpture, both of herself, for her wedding from one of my best artists. Unfortunately, he can also be one of my slowest artists, and Rachel and her fiancé were, well, let's say, fit to be tied that the art pieces, which were due some time ago, were not ready.
Well, I suppose anyone would be angry about that. They order something, it doesn't come on schedule. So, why did you leave Rachel at the gallery?
I had an emergency overnight artwork delivery to ship. I needed to leave by 5 p.m., but Rachel was adamant we had to wait for the artist to come. I really shouldn't have left the two of them alone in the gallery, but they were respectable clients. Anyway, Rachel refused to leave. She said she was staying put just in case. I believe her words were, "Irresponsible ass of an artist does me the supreme favor of showing up." So that's how I came to leave the two of them here, and I had intended to be back before we closed at 6. As it was 6:10 before I returned, and found the door wide open, and Rachel in this terrible posture. As for her fiancé, he was nowhere to be seen. This is the most ghastly thing that has ever happened at the Nathan Ackerman Fine Art Studio. What kind of mad beast are we dealing with here?
Oh, we'll find that out. What's the artist's name?
Patrick Milton. Many of the works in the showroom are in fact his. He's not a critical darling, considered by some too commercial, but the public loves him, and as long as they do, so do I.
All right, then. What time was Patrick Milton expected to arrive?
Ah, that was the spark that lit the fuse of the argument between Rachel and Mark. The artist had vowed to be here with the finished painting and sculpture first thing this morning, but he didn't show up at all. Not the first time. And Rachel flew into a rage when he did not appear.
What is your relationship with Mr. Milton?
Heavens, our association goes back years, almost a decade. Quite frankly, he's the star here. I've displayed and sold hundreds of his works. I could have sold more, but he misses so many deadlines. No matter how hard I tried to breed professionalism into his artist's soul, I failed. Still, he does sell.
You do what you can. Do you have Mr. Milton's address?
Ridiculous as it might seem, no. I have never once, in all the years of our very successful association, even seen his studio. As I say, he's quirky. Private to the point of reclusiveness. Oh, but of course I have a phone number and a P.O. box. He wants his checks, after all.
That'll be enough to track him. Thanks,
Who wouldn't
Mr.
want their
Ackerman.
checks? All right, get the mouse away from the edges here. Get back here. Patrick Milton, 555-1201. Okay, then. What is her fiancé's name?
Her fiancé is one Mark Stock, a taciturn fellow with a physique worthy of a Greek sculpture and just about as talkative. Frankly, he has the personality of a doorstop and the artistic taste of a hillbilly. Forgive my candor. The man does have his admirers. He's an ex-baseball player of some kind, from the minor leagues, I believe. As I said, he was here with Rachel when I left, but when I returned, she was alone, and dead.
Anything else you can tell me about Mark?
Yes,
Anything
they
else?
were having an argument about the art, which was unusual as Mr. Stock had never expressed an opinion from the beginning. Now he was making a stand. He said it was foolish to make such a fuss, and the wedding could easily go on without these silly pieces. But Rachel wasn't having any of that. In Mr. Stock's words, he can sound rather shrill for such a strapping specimen of masculinity. He said Rachel had become unreasonable and out of control over the artist not showing up. And, well, honestly, he had a point. She did have that side to her. Understand, I was very fond of Rachel, but frankly, some of the invective she hurled was directed not just at her fiancé, but, if you can imagine, at me.
Hey, audio skips. Isn't that nice? Well, so if they were arguing, why would you leave them alone?
Fortunately, a truce between the betrothed had come to pass before I had to leave. They were even, shall we say, affectionate. I felt comfortable enough leaving them alone. The storm had blown over, and they were like lovebirds again.
Any other thoughts about Mark Stock?
To me, Mark Stock would be an enigma if he had a higher IQ. During their tiff, he seemed cold, emotionless. He's one of those passive-aggressive types who occasionally erupt, but in a strange, distant way, unleashing a torrent of abusive language, but delivering that invective in a controlled, cruel manner, seemingly devoid of any feeling.
Alrighty then. Do you have their current address?
They visit Vegas frequently, weekend getaways, on which they invariably stop by my gallery to do business. Rachel did so love art. What was the question? No, I have no address. They flew in for their wedding, and I have no idea at which hotel, though it will certainly be one of the pricier ones.
Alright, can you tell me about the missing hawk statue?
I can tell you it's a disaster. That's one of our most valuable pieces. Hawks are a specialty of Mr. Milton's, and that's a signature work. Any Milton collector would kill to... excuse me, that was an unfortunate burst of hyperbole, but I can say with no exaggeration at all that the perched predator is an expensive